Hello.
Today we are at Mesker Park. And by the way, this is the last time I'll be seeing you. This is the last week of summer reading. Today we are going to be meeting a really cool animal. Are you ready, Dewey?
Oh boy, am I.
Well then, let's get started.
Hello. Hi. I'm Lauren Norvell, and we are at Mesker Park Zoo with Oscar, who is our prehensile-tailed skink. What do you think of Oscar?
He looks like a little dragon.
He does look like a little dragon. He is a lizard. We call him a skink because he's a particular kind of lizard, but lizards have scales and claws and teeth, just like dragons.
What do they eat?
Well, he's what we call an herbivore. He eats lots of plant material, plants, fruits, berries. He might eat an occasional insect. They live in the trees, and the trees, if you think about it, they hardly ever come down from the trees, and so they have to find all of their food up there, and that includes fruits, berries, nuts, leaves, maybe some insects.
What do they like doing?
They like to hang out in the trees all day, every day. They sleep during the day, and they come out and wake up at night. They are nocturnal. And so they get up at night and do their thing, and they do that because, one, it's probably cooler at night, and two, it actually helps them hide from predators, because there's predators up there in those trees. So here he goes. This is what he does. You see his long tail?
Yeah.
He's got a very long tail, almost as long as his entire body or longer. They get up to 3 foot long. And this tail is actually prehensile, which means it can wrap around things, kind of like you might see some monkeys do.
Like they wrap around the branch,
Yeah.
and then they kind of just hang.
Yeah, they can hang, but he actually uses it for stability, because when he wants to turn around, and get him to turn around here, he'll hold on with that tail. So here he goes, he's going to turn around. Going to wrap that tail around for some extra leverage. Oh, he wants to go down here. See him? So he uses that tail so that he doesn't fall. Just like a monkey uses their tail so they don't fall out of the trees. And it allows him to reach for another branch with his front 2 legs. And his tail's wrapped around for some extra balance and stability. So here he goes. Let's see if he'll come back to the branch. And I'm using a branch because they are arboreal, or tree dwellers is what that means, and they have really sharp claws that allows them to hang on to the tree. So he would really scratch my hand or arm if I held him. So we use this tree branch so that he has something to really grasp onto. And of course, he's not going to hurt the branch.
How long has he been here?
We've had him, well, I don't know how long he's been at the zoo, but he's about 19 years old. So he's a very old lizard. We brought him out today so he could get some sunshine, and he really likes to bask in the sun and soak it up because it feels good.
Where is he from?
Well, he's from a very small chain of islands called the Solomon Islands. They're over off of the coast of Australia and New Guinea, all the way around the world from where we are now. And they are endemic to that area, and they're only found there.
Does he have any friends in the...
No, they're pretty much, they kind of live solitary lives. They hang out by themselves until it's time to mate. Then when they do find a mate and it's time to have young, they actually lay their eggs inside their bodies, and they hatch inside their bodies, unlike a chicken that lays an egg outside of its body and then it hatches. These lizards, they have eggs inside, they hatch, and then they birth the young. It's called oviviparous. Ova means egg, and viva means live, so it's kind of a combination between an egg birth and a live birth. So they're pretty unique. It's a pretty neat thing. Well, these animals are so cool, and they are only found on those islands, and they're actually now a threatened species because they've been collected out of the wild to become a pet. The pet trade is what we call it in the zoo world. And so these animals are collected out of their wild habitat to become someone's pet. And so when they're not out there in the wild, they can't have more baby lizards very easily. And so their population out there in the wild starts declining. And so they're so cool that they've been collected enough he's going down. They've been collected enough that now they're in trouble in their wild populations. Where you going, Oscar? Come on. He's gonna go up on the branch here in a minute. Any minute now. See his head down there through the rails? Yeah. Maybe he'll come out on the other side. And if he gets on the ground, that's fine, because I can get him up pretty easily. So we'll just let him go on down. That one maybe. Oh, there he is. So see how he's just hanging on with his rear feet and his tail? That's what they do to go from branch to branch in the trees. Field trip. Just like you are. Come on.
Do they like crawling?
Yeah, they do. He's getting a little exercise and he's getting a little change of scenery. And this is kind of what we call enrichment. Kind of like when you like to play out in the yard and get some sunshine and maybe go to the beach. It's kind of enriching for you, right? Because it's a change of scenery and the sun feels good and it's a new place to explore. That really does a lot for animals and their quality of life. They need changes too. You see how he's kind of green and yellow and brown and black?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think he's that color instead of something like your shirt that's hot pink? Why would it be better to be green and brown?
I don't know.
But think about where he lives. He lives up in that tree. You see anything pink up in that tree?
No.
What do you see?
Green and brown.
Green and brown. So why do you think he might be green and brown and want to be that if he's living in a tree?
Because he
He doesn't want that teacher to call on him.
He wants to blend in. If he was a pink lizard up in that tree, the predators would spot him in an instant and he would be food. So he wants to be blended in, and it's what we call camouflage.
So he can just camouflage so the predators won't see him.
Right. And that he also moves at night, which helps also, because predators like hawks and eagles and a lot of other animals that are up in the trees, they would see him and they would just come around and pick him right off the limb. He's a handsome fella, isn't he? You see his ears? Those are his ears right there. So he can hear and he can see and he can also smell. What do you think is his best sense? What do you think he uses the most? He's a lizard up in the trees. You see what he's doing with his tongue?
He's smelling.
He's smelling, yep.
Like snakes.
Yep,
Snakes,
like snakes.
smell with their tongue.
Right. So he's using his sense of smell. He does have eyesight and he can see, but he doesn't have big eyes. So he's probably using his sense of smell more than his sense of vision or his hearing. Lizards don't use their hearing too much. So sense of smell is probably his greatest, the sense he depends on the most.
Thank you for bringing Oscar out.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming to visit us at the zoo.